Hello everyone, this is Ekta Radadia from the Department of Pharmacology, LJ Institute of Pharmacy, Ahmedabad. Welcome back on Pharma Ignite. Pharma Ignite is a digital platform of LJ Institute of Pharmacy which provides you a vast collection of e-learnings for different subjects of pharmacy. In last session, I have discussed about what is UTI actually, different types of UTI, their symptoms and different diagnostic tests of urinary tract infection. So in part 2, I would be discussing about available treatment options and management for urinary tract infection. So let us begin with the management approaches. There are various available antibiotics along with supportive care treatment, lifestyle modification along with home remedies and follow-ups. Now first let us discuss about the indications for inpatient, means the patient who needs to get hospitalized. So there are several criteria for inpatient. If suppose the patient fails to respond to the outpatient treatment, or there has been found some uncertainties in diagnosis, or the patient has been found with dehydration or is not able to maintain the proper oral hydration levels, or if the patient is not really compliant to the prescribed regimen, or the patient has been found with various complications because of many a disease at a time, or if the patient is severely ill and has been found with sepsis. So now let us talk about the available antibiotics options for the UTIs. So urinary tract infection, they are classified under different categories. For example, symptomatic, asymptomatic, uncomplicated and complicated infections on the basis of symptoms such as cystitis, prostatitis and pyelonephritis. Now acute uncomplicated cystitis means the patient has been found with presence of certain amount of bacteriuria upon urine collection, but they do not show any sign and symptoms of typical UTI, or the patient has not found with any history of UTI. They are really classified under acute uncomplicated cystitis. Cystitis means inflammation of urinary bladder. Now majority of the UTIs, they are caused by E. coli and various other species which includes Klebsiella and Enterobacterial species. Available treatment includes nitrofurantoin, which is prescribed at a dose of 50 mg orally every 6 hours for 3 days. Let's talk about the mechanism of action of nitrofurantoin. Nitrofurantoin is a nitrofuran antibiotic which is responsible for inhibitions of enzyme of citric acid and other enzymes which includes DNA, RNA and whole protein synthesis. Now the mechanism includes the generation of electrophile, and it is responsible for the reduction of nitrofurantoin bacterial nucleophilic site which is generated at the different sites in bacterial macromolecule. Alternative treatment to nitrofurantoin includes amoxicillin and clavulanic acid. Amoxicillins, they resemble penicillin. Amoxicillin inhibits the penicillin binding protein 1 and other higher molecular penicillin binding proteins. Now this PBP, which is penicillin binding protein, they are responsible for glycosyl transferase and transpeptidase reaction for the cross-linking of D-alanine and D-aspartate for cell wall synthesis. Without the upregulations of these enzymes, it undergoes the autolysis and it leads to the disrupt or the breakdown of cell wall and hence cell death. Now next is cefuroxime. It is the second generation of cephalosporin which has antimicrobial activity against gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Now cephalosporins, they do have same mechanism of action as other beta-lactamases. It inhibits the synthesis of peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan is a complex and structural molecule which is responsible for synthesis of bacterial cell wall, and it is specific to bacterial cell wall. So within these compromised synthesis, it leads to the bactericidal action and hence cell death. Next is acute cystitis in pregnancy. So in these conditions, nitrofurantoin and cefuroxime are prescribed at different doses, and alternative to these include cephalexin and amoxicillin or clavulanic acid. Cephalexin is a first generation of cephalosporin which includes the beta-lactam and dihydrothiazide ring in its structure, and it leads to the breakdown of cell wall and hence cell death. Now next is recurrent urinary tract infection. Recurrent urinary tract infection means if the patient has been found with more than 3 episodes of UTI per year, then it is classified under recurrent infection. So available treatment option includes nitrofurantoin 50 mg orally every night for 3 to 12 months or trimethoprim and sulfamethoxazole. Sulfamethoxazole, it inhibits the enzyme dihydropteroid synthase, which is responsible for synthesis of dihydrofolic acid. Now the next step is generation of folic acid. So it requires the enzyme dihydrofolate reductase. Now trimethoprim, it blocks this enzyme and hence it is not responsible for the formation of folic acid, which is responsible for synthesis of DNA, and hence it inhibits the cell wall synthesis and hence it affects the synthesis of DNA. Now next is acute uncomplicated pyelonephritis. Pyelonephritis means inflammation of kidney. It may be due to the various bacterial infection. Now next is acute pyelonephritis in pregnancy. So cefuroxime is prescribed in pregnant women, and alternative to this includes amoxicillin or clavulanic acid. But these treatment option, it really depends on the susceptibility or the culture test, whereas trimethoprim is not prescribed in pregnant women. It is contraindicated in pregnancy. Next is asymptomatic bacteriuria. It includes trimethoprim or nitrofurantoin at different doses, and alternative includes cefuroxime 250 mg orally every 12 hours for 7 days. Now next category is asymptomatic bacteriuria in pregnancy. So nitrofurantoin and cefuroxime, they are prescribed in pregnancy at available different dose. For example, nitrofurantoin 50 mg orally every 6 hours for 7 days, and cefuroxime includes 250 mg every 12 hours for 7 days. Now alternative to this includes cephalexin and amoxicillin or clavulanic acid at different doses. Now next is catheter related bacteriuria. Now catheters are required in various conditions. For example, if the patient is not conscious, in unconscious state, or if the patient is suffering from group of diseases at a time, or if the patient is hospitalized, then there is a requirement of catheters. Now these bacteria, they will get a way to travel inside in our urinary tract via these catheters. So there are chances that if it is not required, then remove catheter or change the catheter to lessen the chances of infection, and antibiotics are not recommended until the 48 hours of catheter removal, or if needed, then there are various supportive care treatment are available which can be provided to these type of patients. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I would like to request you all to please subscribe our Pharma Ignite channel and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you everyone.